The status of LA right now it's pretty bad. The people of LA deserve more, and people who have been most underrepresented deserve a lot more from what they're currently getting.
You know, politics has become logjam and special interests that don't reflect a lot of the rest of the population.
The dropout rate is, I want to say, one of the highest in the nation. And for a city that's as large as Los Angeles, the second largest in the US, that just can't be how things are.
Within a few years and nothing changes, the city will go into bankruptcy, in which none of the services everyone relies on will be available.
If you cut social programs, things like that, it's going to really hurt people who need those social programs in the areas where, people don't have as much money. And, in politics, money talks. So, those areas get ignored.
And if we make smart investments in those areas for those communities, we can make sure that they're successful, and by extension, the city is too.
When someone like my mother and her friends and people who have been and given their blood, sweat, and tears in this country for their families feel uninspired, feel like there could be more, expect more from their public servants, someone like me that has been blessed with so much needs to stand up for them, needs to say that we need to do more. And that's why I'm running for mayor.
Okay.
He grew up here in El Sereno, and he really had sort of the quintessential experience of what it is to grow up in East LA.
I have known Emanuel since he was a baby. I knew that when he would grow up, he would go places because he was that kind of a kid. The kind of kid that he made goals, he knew what he wanted, and he would work very hard to get there.
Well, I met Emanuel working at El Sereno Middle School. I was a teacher, and I ran an after-school program. It was called Sports Academy. He was small then, and he just was someone who had a lot of energy and who just wanted to be part of it and wanted to do well.
A lot of young people say, their most memorable academic experience was that program. And as much as I'd like to take credit for it and have our teachers take credit for it, a lot of it came when Emanuel joined on, because he was the face and he was the leader. People clinged to him, people loved him at a young age. He had a lot of power as a sixth grader. If Emanuel wanted our class to run smoothly, it ran smoothly. If he didn't, then it didn't. So really working with him to channel that, it created a monster. He was always one of those people that made everybody else around him better. He did that at a young age, and he's still doing that today. That's a gift. That's a sign of true leadership.
When I think about all that he has seen and what he understands because what he has gone through, and just his upbringing, his mother, the loving family, sister, I think he understands people's stories.
He's just such an inspiration to many, being raised from a single parent and, seeing his mother struggling when he was little. And for him, nothing's out of reach. He sets his goals, and when he says, I'm gonna do something, it doesn't matter how hard he has to work to get there. He doesn't step over people to do it. He's very humble, he works very hard, he's honest, and he has the biggest heart.
I think he's well-grounded with, the issues that face the city. He was always someone that people liked and would support.
Emanuel was always into doing something, not only for himself, but for the school, for the community, for whoever his friends. He was always involved in so many things.
I met Emanuel back in 2000, right here on campus at USC. He was a part of a program called the Role Model and Leadership Program, put on by the Center for Excellence in Education out of Washington, D.C. And basically, they were looking for the brightest students, minority students in the LA area. Of all the students in the program, he was always so focused. And we, as I stated, we communicated while he was at Stanford. And I would occasionally go on his website. Don't tell him that, though. to see what he was doing. And I can say that I am so very proud of Emanuel and what he has accomplished and what he will continue to accomplish in his very young age of 30s.
What are you doing these days now?
I work at a technology company. I'm the chief strategy officer for a technology company called Spokio.
I met Emanuel while he was at McKinsey.
My brother worked for him out in the Treasury.
I worked with him last summer on Loft social media.
Private experience and the nonprofit experience, and even though he's young, he still has public service experience.
Somebody who knows their community, cares about their community, and really wants to represent them.
We probably hung out together when we were kids.
I met Emanuel Pleitez back in 2008 when he was on the board of directors of a nonprofit called CEO Women.
Private and public sector. He's worked at McKinsey, Goldman Sachs, the Department of Treasury.
The main focus for him from the economy is certainly the pension reform. A lot of other candidates are really afraid to talk about it.
I propose a pension buyout plan so that we can actually give workers something today instead of nothing tomorrow. That's the future of our city and how we fix the budget, broaden the tax base, and have long-term economic growth for the city.
In terms of education, I mean, he grew up in these schools, he went to them.
The education needs to be the #1 priority of City Hall. And it shouldn't be just about the 7 to 8 hours inside of the classroom. It should be a 24/7 mindset across all departments where we think about how to create more educational and recreational outlets.
Y yo me encuentro muy feliz porque soy la mamá de Emanuel Pleitez, que es un muchacho tan simple, tan sencillo, que ojalá y Dios quiera que llegue a alcalde para que vean las comunidades todo lo que él es capaz de hacer.
I would like voters, even if they only have one thing that they can take away from Emanuel, is that
he comes from the most humble beginnings.
He's not going to just represent the Latinos that just because he is Latino, he's going to represent everyone equally.
He's the voice of the underrepresented.
And he's had the fortune to, to bring himself up with the help of others. And I think they should remember that he wants to do the same for them.
He's not going to give up on any member of this community, and that he believes in every single individual in the city of Los Angeles. That he's there to push them along, to take that next step they need to, whether it's to pay the bills or to feed their family or to go to college, whatever it is, he believes in every single one of them. There's a lot more, but if you got to take one away, that's it.